Let me share my client's hormone test with you. My client was 48 and she had the Dutch test. She was on HRT and wanted to check that she was on the correct dosage. But also, she just wanted to know why she still had no motivation, no mojo, and no sex drive. So let me share what was going on with her. Here we have this lady's Dutch test results. As I said, she was 48 and feeling miserable with no motivation, no mojo for life. You can see at the top the sex hormones. She had very low estrogen and low progesterone. So HRT was a good option for her, and we did look through her levels in more depth. But over on the right-hand side, her testosterone, no doctor had picked up or discussed testosterone with her. So when testosterone is low, it can leave you with the aches and pains around the joints or the muscles. It can leave you with no mojo, no motivation to get up and do anything. This lady was really struggling to get her exercise done. And she was finding that if she did exercise, she had those aches and pains, but also she just was not building any muscle. Her muscle tone was going. And that is very much linked with the testosterone. Another thing is her sex drive. Yes, it can be estrogen, progesterone, which leads to the lower sex drive, but testosterone plays an important part of that. Now, testosterone does start to drop in the perimenopause years, but this client had very low levels. Some women are able to get testosterone on the NHS or privately. Privately, it is extremely expensive. So it's something that is available on the NHS, but you may have to see a specialist or you may need to speak to a doctor who knows how to prescribe that testosterone for you. If we go a little bit further down, we can see her total DHE production. Now, this again is so important. DHEA helps to make your androgens as well as your estrogen. When the ovaries shut down post-menopause, your adrenal glands and the DHEA will help to produce some of your estrogen. Now, DHEA is predominantly made in your adrenal glands. 80%, in fact, is from the adrenal glands, hence why I always talk about nourishing your adrenal glands, reducing stress, making a few lifestyle changes, or adding in some supplements or herbs to support your adrenal glands. 10% of DHEA is made in the brain and 10% in your ovaries. Now, DHEA, very much like testosterone, is linked with your muscles to help support and build muscles. It's also linked with your bone health, and post-menopause, you are more prone as a woman to osteoporosis. It's linked with the sex drive, the brain health. So if you're someone who's struggling with that concentration, maybe the brain fog, then DHEA may be worth considering looking into. It is also linked with your immune system and your heart health. And once again, post-menopause, women are more prone to cardiovascular disease due to the estrogen dropping, arteries becoming stiffer, but also DHEA. When you've got low DHEA, you can feel more tired, more fatigued. Quite often it's linked with the low moods and the depression. Again, something that is quite often overlooked. It can be linked with diabetes, low blood sugar or blood sugar imbalances, and heart disease. Now, the reason for DHEA being low can be due to going through a period of chronic stress. I quite often see this with clients, or inflammation, so being overweight or having some inflammation in the system, and blood sugar balance. And finally, hypothyroidism. When we see imbalances with cortisol or with DHEA, then it is quite often important to look at that thyroid levels. And just remember, when you do see your GP, do ask to make sure that they are checking all of your levels. Ideally, we want to be looking at T3, T4, and TSH. Another thing that was going on with this lady was her cortisol. As you can see, her free cortisol is extremely high. That's the red arrow on the 24-hour free cortisol dial. She woke up in the morning with her cortisol being in the normal range, but then she had a huge spike and it went over the level. So that's the red line on the graph. Now, that high morning cortisol, it could be due to having a period of stress first thing in the morning, or maybe in anticipating stress upon waking. It can be due to caffeine, so drinking too much coffee, strong coffee in the morning, or alternatively, for some women, it can spike due to doing high impact cardio exercise. Another thing that can spike it is blood sugar balance. Now, this lady was feeling extremely anxious and tired after waking up. And that is one of the things that we can see. We can see that she has this huge cortisol spike. Good news is it does drop down, although it drops down quite significantly to lower levels in the afternoon. Now, this dropping down of cortisol is a good thing. We do want our cortisol to lower in the afternoon and then tail off in the evening, helping us to get to sleep. But if we have too big a decrease in that cortisol, it can lead to that energy slump in the afternoon, maybe around 3 or 4 o'clock. If you're one of those women who is reaching for the coffee or needing chocolate stimulants to keep you going for the rest of the afternoon, then it may be a sign that your cortisol has dropped, and that can be due to blood sugar balance. So, ladies, if you're struggling and you want to know a little bit more, my name's Kat. I'm known as the Hormone Fairy. You can visit my website, thehormonefairy.co.uk. The Dutch test, it is available across the world, so please get in touch. I'm able to send that to you. When you have the Dutch test, you take the test in the comfort of your own home. It's extremely simple to do. It is a urine test that we take over a set period, and we take up to 5 samples in a day. And then we have a consultation over the computer, over video call, where we go through all of your questions, your symptoms, explain the test and the results to you. And then afterwards, we put together a plan so that you can change some simple things in your diet, your lifestyle, maybe add in some supplements, some herbs, or maybe medication if that's what you need, and help you get back on track. As I said, my name is Kat, known as the Hormone Fairy. Follow for some tips